Yes, people, welcome back to another video on Thai Sports, where today we are talking about Liverpool centre-back Giovanni Leoni, because there's been bad news coming out today that the youngster has ruptured his ACL, or should I say torn his ACL, and he will now be out for several months. And this is a huge blow to Liverpool, but also a huge blow to him, because only last night did we see him make his full-on starting debut for Liverpool Football Club against Southampton. And do you know what? He put in a very good display for someone coming in so young, so raw, coming into a sort of atmosphere where, Alexander Isak is making his first start. Liverpool are expected to win. It's not always easy, but he came on, started, and he was accomplished. No mistakes, comfortable on the ball, won his duels, and he didn't put a foot wrong. And when you look at it for a debut, it's all of a sudden saying, okay, with Gomez and Giovanni Leoni, Liverpool have some able centre-backs that are able to help when Konate might be out, Van Dijk might be out, but it's not going to last long because Giovanni Leoni has torn his ACL, which is devastating news, especially being so young, 18 years of age, when your body's developing, you're starting to grow into a man itself, and now you're going to have to spend at least maybe 7 to 8 months on the sidelines, recovery, getting stronger, physically having to deal with it, mentally having to deal with it when you've just signed for a big club and you've moved to England. And I think this is bad news, man. It's a shame to see any player get injured, but I think when it's a player when you sign of high potential, you bring them over from overseas, you see them start their first game, look accomplished, look good, you're excited about the future, and then this happens. It is such a shame. No matter what team you support as football fans, you don't want to see it. And obviously, this news was broken by Fabrizio Romano earlier today. Liverpool centre-back Giovanni Leoni has torn his ACL and will be out for several months. After excellent debut in League Cup last night against Southampton, with Arne Slot also very happy. It's an unlucky injury for Leoni, who will try to be back before the end of the season. And I think the big thing is with this as well is that you don't want to rush it. You don't want to rush it. Injuries like this can often see players never fully recover. We can often see players rush back and then they might have another injury and another setback, and they never quite get back into the full groove of the potential of what they had at the football club. And I don't think Liverpool will want to rush this. He's a young player, like I said, moving from Italy, coming to England alone is a tough challenge, and learning the language and stuff like that. But now to have a spell on the sidelines at such a young age is going to be difficult. And this news will be hard for Liverpool in terms of what they're trying to do in terms of the season, League Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. We already know, people. We already know that this Liverpool team is short in the centre-back area, which is why they wanted to sign Mark Guehi. And they didn't quite get that deal over the line. That was a signing that was tailor-made for the Premier League, proven England international, winner with Crystal Palace, captain. He would have come in and been able to start with Van Dijk, or also give Van Dijk a chance to rest and play with Konate and give Liverpool that depth in quality that Arsenal have got with, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincampe, Calafiori, Mosquera, Ben White even. You're looking at the quality and depth that Arsenal have. That is what Liverpool were looking to have. And unfortunately for them, they have now not got that with Leoni injured. And it now means effectively that pressure is going to be put on, Joe Gomez to now have to stand up. Because if you take out Joe Gomez, Liverpool have not actually got any other quality centre-backs able to step up, able to fill the boots of a Van Dijk. And I think now when Liverpool are going into this season, which is why they really wanted Mark Guehi, they're going to be tested now. This squad, when it gets to the December, January, February, March period, there are going to be spells that you're playing 2 big games a week. There's going to be spells that you're having to have the quality in depth. And they now haven't got that. Konate, Van Dijk, and Gomez. I think this means that Liverpool go in for Mark Guehi again. That's what I think personally. I think Liverpool have to go in for Mark Guehi and try and sign him in January. Forget waiting on a free transfer in May, June, July, whenever it may be at the end of the season. If Liverpool are still competing for the league, if Liverpool are still competing for the Champions League, if Liverpool are still in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, Mark Guehi could join them and potentially win a treble, win a league, win a double, whatever it may be, after the back of the season he's had for Crystal Palace. I would be saying at Liverpool Football Club and the board, make sure you go out and sign Mark Guehi, because we know that Leoni's not going to be back and we can't rush him. We can't rely on Gomez. We can't rely on Konate. Van Dijk is getting older. We're putting more pressure on our experienced captain to play more and more. So this is going to be very interesting to see how Liverpool now navigate that, because this injury is a big setback, because with the signing of Guehi not happening, the pressure was down on Leoni to step up more, play more. That is why he was starting in the Carabao Cup. Maybe he was going to start every game in the Carabao Cup, pending how far Liverpool got. But now, 3 centre-backs with a team like Arsenal trying to chase you down, a team, you know, like Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG that are going to be competing against you in the Champions League. Liverpool are going to be tested, people. And look, I don't want to wish injuries on anyone and badness on anyone, but in terms of the competitiveness now and how rivals might be looking at it, like Arsenal Football Club, they might be looking at it from a fan perspective, thinking, okay, if Liverpool do have an injury to a Gomez or Van Dijk, they've only got to Van Dijk or Konate, they've only got Gomez there to step in. They may have blips. They may have unfortunate results. Things might not go their way. And I think the way football is going right now, and we know with how many games are played and stuff like that, they are going to be tested at Liverpool. You know, there is going to be moments where this squad does shrink due to the amount of games and the injuries that happen. So Arne Slot now is going to have to think outside the box. He's going to have to adapt. Maybe we can see Endo playing at centre-back again, but Endo as a deputy centre-back, we all know he's not got the size and the frame and the physicality. He might be able to do a job in some games, but he's not going to provide you with that consistency. So I think more than ever, when you look at Van Dijk and you look at Konate, during their time here at the football club, I think this might be the biggest pressure they've had in terms of trying to stay fit, trying to stay active, make sure they're playing most Premier League and Champions League games. And it may take its toll in the future. So, yeah, from a Liverpool perspective, this is a big blow, and a big blow for Giovanni Leoni himself. And like I said, people, yesterday he had a very accomplished debut as well. I think Liverpool fans are very happy with what they saw. I think you could see that it's a signing for the future. It's a signing with potential. And, you know, it's rare as well that, look, I've followed football for many years now across Europe, and it's very rare that you get young Italian footballers come over to the UK at such a young age. Normally they end up at a Juve and Milan, or Roma and Napoli. But for, you know, Liverpool to go out and sign him and try and bring him through their ranks, it shows that the potential that he really has, and that he could be a top quality centre-back. And I hope now when he comes back, he can slowly rediscover the talent and the potential. Look, we know ACL injuries can be bad. So let's obviously have our thoughts for Giovanni Leoni as a Liverpool central defender. But let's see now how it affects Liverpool later on in the season. I think at the moment they can navigate it with Gomez, Konate and Van Dijk, but there will be moments where they are tested. And Arne Slot is going to have to adapt. So guys, let me know in the comments how you feel as Liverpool fans. Are you worried about this injury? Do you feel you've got enough in the tank to get through? And would you now go and sign Mark Guehi in January? Because I think now more than ever, that may have become a very much a must. Guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. Giovanni Leoni out with an ACL injury. Is it time to get Guehi in January?